I'm going to do this read for the sign of Aries. I like to think my reads are for wherever you hold Aries in your chart, whatever planets you have in Aries, and whatever house Aries lords or covers in your birth chart. But mostly, of course, it's going to be for your ascendant, okay? What do we have going on astrologically right now? We've got the sun in Libra. We just had a full moon in Aries, which was a pretty powerful full moon. So that would have been big for Aries. I'm sure Aries have had an interesting week because of that. What else can I think of? Saturn is direct. I don't have my notes, but let's just go ahead and do a read for Aries in the current energies of mid-October 2019. We've had a lot of Pluto action lately, squaring the moon, and quite a lot of dramatic energy going on. So let's see how that's affecting the energy of Aries. Okay, I call in the highest guides to be with us here so that I may guide Aries to their highest best destiny and highest best version of themselves. All right, and thank you for following me or subscribing, and thanks for liking if you like it. All right. I do workshops in the Los Angeles area, and I also do, of course, personal reads, which my email address is below, so feel free to email me. And I have reviews about me on Yelp under Tarot Card Reading by Madeleine Parker, or Madeleine Parker Tarot Card Read, something like that. All right. Okay. Now let's go ahead. I'll do it one more time for the energy of Aries. All right. This is my mother's old shawl, and I just thought it looked so beautiful. I wanted to use it. Look at that star at the bottom of the deck for Aries. I'm going to move this a little bit off to the side here. We got the Six of Pentacles, the Fool, the Nine of Swords, the High Priestess, Five of Cups, Six of Cups, Page of Wands, Page of Cups, two pages, Four of Wands, Ace of Wands, Knight of Wands, Sun card, and I'm going to take everything up a little here. I'm going to go ahead and put this last group. That would be the Eight of Wands. Oh, this card got wet, so I take it out and I use a substitute card for it. So when I pull it, I then make the switch. Okay, bottom of the deck, we have the Star card. I'm just going to double check that we are filming. Yes, very nice. And okay, I think I'm going to move things up a little. Okay. Now, we're starting off with the Six of Pentacles. I have a feeling this full moon brought to knowledge for Aries some clarities about some out of alignment choices that have led the Aries astray. I wonder who is texting me. Okay, I'll just ignore that. So the Aries has really become, now full moons really bring to light hidden, that is that which is hidden, or the subconscious. We become more aware of our inner world. It becomes more clear. The full moon shines a light on what we haven't been seeing or what we haven't been aware of, and that's kind of what's coming up in this read here. It looks like Aries took this. It's possible they had a hard time during this full moon period because they've come into knowledge of being out of alignment with their higher best in the highest best choices for themselves. In other words, it looks like Aries is feeling as though they've been a little out of alignment with some choices. But that's actually really good, because then you become much more aware of how to align. And that's what's happening right here. So that's further down the pipeline, because what's the full moon brought to revelation for the Aries is the choices that have not been from the heart, have not been in their best interest. To not choose a choice from heart feeling space is going against knowledge of your best interest. And so Aries is getting ready to kind of take a fresh new start, which is what that full moon also initiated, because we have the Ace of Wands here. So really that full moon, and with the Pluto square, brought up issues of the past, that decisions that were made out of alignment, and now there's a sudden awareness of how out of alignment those choices have been. And it's a little bit around spiritualism, or or having not been aware of their higher will, or divine will, or not having been connected, because we get the high priestess there representing sort of spiritualism or higher consciousness or connection to the higher realms or awareness or focus in. High priestess is a woman who channels, or a man can be a high priest who focuses on working with the higher forces, the higher energies. So if we get in this read, we get knowledge of out of alignment, realizing there's a higher force at play, and that so it's sort of like almost a spiritual awakening, and by making out of alignment choices from not being connected to their heart, they're becoming aware of the harm in that to themselves and others, because we get these 3 cups down. So they're kind of feeling bad a little bit from this full moon, and possibly having some anxiety fears, at the same time as being aware of a new beginning approaching, or it's almost as though for Aries, they're realizing that a whole brand new beginning is about to take place once they sort of handle some guilt or shame about some past choices and how ungiving they've been. Possibly because, the Aries sign, as we know, tends to be the most selfish sign. So I think the Aries are having a hard time with that about themselves right now. Let's just take a quick look. Now, that's going to result in, we'll get to this in a minute, but that's going to result in a more in alignment, cooperative, making the effort to align harmoniously in a divine relationship. And the energy of confliction and fighting or being confused about it is really rapidly leaving the Aries. So there's a clarity coming as a result of this full moon bringing to light some out of alignment choices, because that were based in thinking rather than feeling. And Aries do have a tendency to race into things without really lining up with, without making sure that it's what feels right and in alignment for their heart or their higher truth. Now, we get 2 sort of twin flame, and plus we did have that 2 of Cups down here. So we do have possibly twin flame relationships coming into motion here, coming into possible union, because we've got we got the 11 cards, we got the 6 of Cups, we got the Knight of Wands. So Aries, you're feeling a little, shall we say, ready to rumble, ready to roll, ready to have some like real action in the romance department, in a solid, harmonious, divine partnership, in a true, real thing, because having made decisions that were out of alignment, the Aries really are ready. Then we get the 4 of Wands, which is all about alignment. And then we get the Ace of Wands, again, all in alignment. The Knight of Wands in alignment. This has become much more in alignment here. And then the Page of Wands turned away from union, as it were. I have these are out of alignment because they're turned away from the center. Page of Wands turned away. This is a period coming up for Aries where they're just sort of processing the past and how they made some out of alignment choices, and then and then we get the Page of Wands. The Aries are sort of warming up to communicating, but first they want to get a hold of how they're feeling right now, because it's sort of overwhelming them and taking away their ability to really be able to communicate the right way. So they're taking a little time to kind of get a grip of how they feel and how they want to present or how they want to communicate. So the Aries are becoming in alignment, pulling out of a hard, heavy feeling around illuminations that the full moon gave them about past out of alignment choices where they were not reciprocal, where they're not giving from the heart. They're making head choices that threw them out of alignment, that has now thrown them into a spiritual awareness or higher knowing, or an understanding of spiritualism, which has now made them realize the need for in alignment choices in relationships that are based in purity of heart and giving, rather than see, because we start out with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, in turned away, meaning a non-giving, and then we go to Six of Cups, another six, which represents being of service. So we get into a place of willing to really give out of purity of heart. So this is a big shift time for Aries. And then of course, after this challenging experience about the reflecting on some of the choices that were not so great and in alignment for Aries, is a point of clarity about how to become in alignment, because you can't be found unless you've been lost. So it's almost like the Aries have found themselves back in alignment, and whatever relationship they turned away from that was their divine partnership, they're realizing was truly the most fired up, adventurous experience that they could really hope to imagine and love. And I mean, this is a two double sort of lustful energies, and that there's just a lot of fire and passion here that they want. I mean, they're exploding. It's like the Aries are exploding. The energy that pulled them away from this relationship, which was conflicting or caused confliction, has now been restored to hope. There will be knowledge of a home living, a home fulfilling living situation for Aries, of heart-based fulfillment type love and relationships of purity, of giving from heart, in alignment with divine will, true passion, true creativity, fun, explosion of the restraints and the negative thinking or the thoughts that made the Aries feel like they needed to make out of alignment heart choices, based choices for themselves. So the Aries are just gaining, they're realizing where they went wrong in the past. They feel bad about it. They're just pulling themselves back together. They want to come forward. They're trying to express their feelings. They want to come forward and express themselves in a state of alignment. They've now consented to divine will in this harmony, in the harmonious state, because it's such a pure giving. It's a pure relationship. They feel bad about not having given in this pure relationship. They realize it's a spiritual connection. It hurts them to know that they've hurt somebody that they have a pure love with. And so now we're getting the Aries in alignment, ready to take action that throws them in alignment here with this relationship, ready to take the effort to pull this consciously in alignment, and allowing the energies, the desire to pull away and confliction has now, but we got the bottom. I'm just going to pull a clarity on this, please. Has just been transformed. There's a total transformation of the energy of wanting to escape, run, due to feeling conflicted, or conflict in the situation has now been completely and utterly transformed to positive progress forward. The sun in the death card, double sun, boom. Aries, this is a beautiful read. Thank you for watching. Namaste.